Welcome to Wrestling with Siblings. I'm your host, Araceli, and this is my co-host, Armando.
Hi, I'm Armando, and welcome to our first podcast.
Okay, the first thing I'd like to talk about is Survivor Series weekend. Obviously, the first match was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Breezango. Why is Kevin Owens on the pre-show? He's an elite superstar, and I feel like he should have been on the 5-on-5 match.
Yeah, he should have been put on the 5-on-5 match, definitely. He's got potential to be the biggest star on the SmackDown roster. Bigger than AJ Styles up there. But, yeah, I mean, WWE shouldn't have put him in the pre-show. He's one of the guys that should be up there, definitely.
With the top talent, right?
Exactly.
And wasn't Kevin Owens the Universal Champion at this year last time?
Yes, and that's where we're going as him being one of the top stars. I feel that the Jobbers should be in the pre-show.
The Jobbers?
Yeah. You know, not to underestimate Breezango and, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. They're also talented, but they're not up there.
Like, why did they need that match? Why did they need to face them, right?
Yeah, I feel that they could have got a better feud with somebody else.
And, like, storyline purposes, I see why they put them on the pre-show, because they were going to interfere on the 5-on-5 against Shane and, like, the other ones. But regardless, it's Kevin Owens.
I'm going to tell you what I would have done with them, too. I would have put them on that 5-on-5 match, which we'll get to later. And I probably would have betrayed it to SmackDown, if that's what they're going for with the story. But that's, again, my opinion, so...
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. And in case you guys haven't checked it out, check out 365 by WWE. It'll change the way you see Kevin Owens. Anyways, let's move on to the Shield versus a New Day. Obviously, the winner ended up being the Shield. We already expected that since it was the first time the Shield was going to be back together. So what do you think about the Shield coming back together for the first time?
So, Araceli, here's what I think about the Shield. I thought it was awesome. We felt bad. We went back to that first time they came back in Survivor Series. It was amazing. I feel like they didn't miss a beat. When you have chemistry with somebody and you've known them and trained with them for a while, from NXT, the chemistry's there. They nailed every single move that they did. Like I said, chemistry was there, and it was awesome seeing them back together.
And obviously, they've all know what it's like to be the top guy individual. They've all been champions. They've all held some type of championship, including now Roman Reigns being the Grand Slam champion.
And to follow up on that you said that they have more experience. I think they all gotten much better. They all been in WWE for a couple years already, so they know what's expected for them to deliver.
They've all developed into the characters they are now.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was trying to go.
And then WWE did a great job bringing them together. I feel like this could really help out Roman Reigns, especially now that we saw on Raw that they're heading towards making all three members of the Shield champion, giving them the tag team championships to Seth and Dean, and then Roman beating The Miz to becoming the Intercontinental Champion.
That is correct. Speaking of Roman Reigns, I feel that WWE pushed him too early. They should have done something more of like what they're doing with Baron Corbin. Give him a title like the Intercontinental or the US title. That would have helped his career out a lot because it would have developed him even more as far as like how the fans were going to react to him. And I think WWE messed up in trying to shove him down our throats. And I think him being with the Shield now, if he were to become Intercontinental Champion, or if he does, I think it'll be a great opportunity for him to re-interact with the fans. It should be great for his career.
Yeah, I see where you're heading with that, especially since we're heading into WrestleMania.
Right, because if you see the rest of the champions, I think Ambrose was the U.S. champion before he became the WWE champion.
Yeah,
and look how he turned out.
Yeah, and then he won the Intercontinental shortly after, right?
So that's where I'm going. Like, if WWE is gonna push someone, they should push him towards the Intercontinental or the U.S. title to see how they do as far as that. Because if they give him the push, right away. And
what if it doesn't work?
Exactly. What if it doesn't work? Then we're going to get the reaction that we're getting with Roman right now. But
all right, how much longer do you think the Shield will be together?
I think they're going to be together up until WrestleMania. If anything, to me, the only way I see them splitting up in this storyline, it's probably going to be, the draft, the shakeup that they do after WrestleMania.
Yeah, because
I see Seth Rollins going to SmackDown.
So this year, Dean Ambrose was the only member from the Shield that was actually in SmackDown, and then for the Superstar shakeup, they traded him to Raw, which officially brought back the Shield by bringing them all together in the same brand. So we'll see where that goes. Obviously, the plan for WrestleMania is to go Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. So for that, he would have to lose the Intercontinental Championship. And then what happens with the Shield? Would he still be with them, or are they just going to split beforehand? We'll have to wait and see.
And like I said earlier, I would like to see Seth Rollins carry the brand, kind of what he did with NXT. And I think SmackDown would be a great place for him. If it's not like that, then for Roman also, whether he becomes the WWE champion or the Universal champion, either one, whoever moves to SmackDown, should carry the brand. And if they really want Roman and they really want to push him, they got to start making him carry the brand. And I think SmackDown will be a great one for him if he were to move. But yes, that again, if they do the shakeup and they end up splitting up from here to WrestleMania, which I think they're going to break up after that, which it will make sense to the storylines.
I see where you're going with that. Now, let's hit into the New Day. I don't see them splitting up anytime soon, do you?
I don't. And again, following up, I only see them splitting up again in the draft where they switch and stuff like that. So that's the only way I see them. Other than that, if one of them will get a title reign, but I don't see them splitting up neither. I think WWE Creative has done a great job of keeping them together. Their storyline as far as what they've done. Them moving to SmackDown was the best choice. They're getting a lot more push. They're the only tag team there that's getting all the attention other than the Usos. They're just entertaining. I think that what they're doing it's great, and they should keep it up. I really don't see them breaking up anytime soon.
They've really helped out the SmackDown Live tag team division, especially those matches that they've been having recently with the Usos. They've been absolutely incredible. They've been stealing the show. So yeah, I agree. I don't see them splitting up anytime soon. I don't see any member from the New Day, how do I say it? I don't see them
in a huge title picture yet?
Well, I see them in a title picture, but I don't see, like, Kofi or Xavier turning on the other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't see them betraying each other for that main spot. Get what I'm saying?
I see where you're going. So you're saying that the New Day could also have all the titles like the Shield, if it were to happen? Is that so you're calling the New Day the next Shield of SmackDown, pretty much? Pretty much,
I guess. You can put it that way. I mean, I don't see them having a betrayal anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't see the New Day turning on each other the Shield did.
I see the comparison, and I know where you're going with this, but I just don't see them being up there at the level of the Shield. The Shield is just at a whole different level.
Yeah, obviously, because when you compare the Shield to a New Day, the Shield has 3 top guys who've all held a top championship, and they've all held the Intercontinental, and they've all held the U.S., except for Seth. I don't think Seth's hold the Intercontinental, but even then, they're all top guys. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Alright, and then the 5-on-5 women's traditional elimination match. This is a match where people were expecting Paige to be the 5th member of the SmackDown Live team, which ended up being Natalya. By the way, if you haven't seen Raw, Paige ends up actually coming back, and she didn't come alone. She came with a few of the NXT people. And then at the beginning of this match, Alicia starts off with Becky, and then Bayley ends up tagging herself in. She rolls up Team Captain Becky, and then she eliminates her. At this point, it's 5-on-4, with Raw having all 5 members of their team still there. The second elimination was Bayley, and she was eliminated by Tamina. I wasn't expecting Bayley to be eliminated that early. Neither was I expecting Becky to be eliminated that early.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. I just love what WWE is doing with the women's division, especially them. Like you said, if you guys haven't seen Raw or SmackDown, you know, some of the NXT women's wrestlers were brought up, and I think it was time for a change. Paige coming back is going to be a huge. So Paige is going to be a huge asset to the Raw roster. You know, just because we've been seeing the same matches over and over again, and we needed that fresh blood in there. Same thing with them bringing up the NXT.
I wasn't expecting the call-ups, to be quite honest. I was incredibly surprised to see the NXT women down there. And then, obviously, this match ended up being Raw winning for the second year in a row. With Asuka being on their team, I honestly didn't see them losing. Who do you think is going to defeat Asuka? Because apparently nobody was ready for her. She eliminated Carmella, Natalya, and Tamina.
Right now in the roster, I don't see anybody defeating her. Maybe Paige. You know, but other than that, I don't see anybody else. The Boss, we've already seen that match against Asuka.
I believe so, down in NXT. I know for a fact she faced Bayley, and Bayley couldn't get the job done. I don't remember if she faced Sasha Banks, but it'd be interesting to see.
Well, if she didn't, I think Sasha Banks would be another great opponent. But I really don't see anybody defeating her just because she's so talented and everything she showed in being undefeated in NXT. And just to let you guys know, I don't follow NXT as much as Araceli. The reason why I don't follow NXT is because by the time they get to the main roster, I've already seen everything that they have to prove. You may agree with me on this or not, but I haven't seen Liv. I haven't seen Morgan. What was the other one that...
Ruby Riott was one.
Ruby Riott.
Mandy Rose was the other one.
Yeah.
Sarah Logan.
Which they all got called up in both Raw and SmackDown. So I really have a thing of not seeing NXT just because I want to, by the time they make it to the main roster, I want to be impressed.
And he was one of the very few that hadn't seen a Nakamura match down in NXT. So when he got brought up, he was introduced to him as brand new. So he didn't know what to expect, and he would see him do some moves or whatever. Same thing with Finn and everybody else that has come from NXT. He's pretty impressed with what they can do. He doesn't really keep up with NXT as much.
Because by the time they move up, like I said, to the main roster, I already seen all their movesets.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much.
So at this point, we're already 2-0 with Raw leading. SmackDown hasn't gotten a win. Which leads me to Baron Corbin versus The Miz. And I honestly don't think The Miz needed to win this match. He's just super talented. He's already over with the crowd. He didn't need the win. And he didn't end up winning. Actually, Baron Corbin was the one that won this match, putting SmackDown Live on the board. What do you think about this?
This one was great for Corbin. It proved that he could be up there with the top stars by defeating Miz. Obviously, Miz, like you said, has everything to be the greatest or one of the greatest superstars here in the WWE, and that just proves that Baron Corbin could be a future, champion in the WWE.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where they're going to go with him moving forward. Are they just going to have him drop the United States Championship? And with who and what his storyline will be heading into WrestleMania. It'll be interesting to see.
Very true.
And then we had Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar versus the Usos. I mean, they're two of the greatest tag teams in WWE right now. They've both kind of just... They've been up there. They've been champions for quite a while now.
To me, right now, the best tag team in the WWE has to be the Usos. Not only because they delivered in the match, but again, going back to the chemistry, these guys grew up wrestling together. They knew every single move that they nailed together.
And they know the way the business works, and it's one of those things where they come from a wrestling family, so obviously they're up there.
Yeah. And most important thing, these guys know how to win. They know how to win. And their new day one-ish that they have, I think it was great. Them moving to SmackDown also, like the New Day, it was perfect there. I think they are the bar of the entire WWE as far as SmackDown. I right now I haven't seen a tag team. You might disagree with me, but I think they're the best tag team in the WWE right now, and they proved it at Survivor Series.
And now that the Hardys are not together because Jeff is injured, I mean, I'd like to see the Hardy Boys versus the Usos. That's something I'd like to see.
That would be a great match, but if it were to put in that situation, you know me, I'm old school. I would have to go with the Hardys.
Yeah, same.
I would have to go with the Hardys, but Team Extreme. They have had some of the best tag team matches we've ever seen. But like I said, right now, up to date, I gotta go with the Usos, and I love what they're doing with their
characters as of right now.
Right.
Them turning heel was brilliant.
Yeah, it's one of the best things that can happen in their career.
We'll have to see where they go with that. Next up, oh, by the way, they did defeat the Bar, so at this point they're tied 2-2. And then we have Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair.
Before we move on to the Alexa Bliss and Charlotte match, they should really throw Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in that tag team match, the tag team championship
division. You think they should just put them together
definitely.
and have them go, kind of like what they did with Jericho and Owens, right?
Exactly. I think though they are the only two tag team right now that could probably defeat the Usos, but that's if WWE decides to give them that tag team title run.
Now that they've paired them together, I see where you're going. That'd be something that I'd really be looking forward to see if they'd be able to do that. I mean, obviously right now you have Kevin feuding with Shane, so we'll see where the storyline goes. And then now heading into Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. I mean, they're the only two women in the WWE to hold both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, and Charlotte being the only woman to be the Grand Slam champion to hold both the NXT, the Divas, the Raw, and the Women's Championship.
Yeah, that is true. Other than Asuka, I think Charlotte is probably up there too. And like I said, I didn't follow her in NXT, but since she's been in the main roster, she's really, really impressed me. Out of all of them, I think she's the better athlete. She's just big time. I would really love to see Asuka and Charlotte.
And Charlotte, yeah.
That would be a great match. But right now, I think other than Asuka, Charlotte is up there, if not up to the same level she is.
She's probably the greatest female wrestler we've seen of this generation so far.
Now,
she's up there. She's up there with Sasha and Asuka and all of them. But right now, she seems to be superior to everybody else. I mean, she's done a great job representing Ric Flair as when it comes to representing her father in the brand. But we'll see what they decide to do with her.
Hopefully, some good things with her, because she's really talented, and you know that wrestling background that she has of her father really helps her out. But she's just extremely talented from what I've seen, and I think she's the top one up there.
I don't see her losing the championship anytime soon, to be honest.
And here's the thing about her being the champion. Hopefully she keeps this title reign long enough, because you might disagree with me and everybody else, but I feel that some of the women's title reigns that they had, it's been for like a week or two, so I really don't consider them as credible as having a long title run. Like, for example, Asuka. Asuka, her title run was for what?
Over 300 days.
And so to me, that's big time, and that's credible, you know. But I love what they're doing with Charlotte. And you might disagree with me and everybody else.
I mean, I agree because at this point she's 5-time women's champion already, and she's been in the main roster for 2 years already. And think about it, Sasha has been up there. Sasha's up there too, but she's one of those people where she won. For example, at SummerSlam, she won the title. She lost it 2 weeks later to Alexa. So it's like, what was the point of even giving her the championship at that point? Might as well just have Alexa keep it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going. Like, that's one of the things I don't like that WWE is not doing right with the women, the women's championship or the women's division. I feel that some of their title reigns won't be as credible. Like, how would you feel if you were Asuka, if you were Trish or Lita that had the long title reigns? And it took them all their career. Like, for example, Trish.
She's a
7-time champion. And it took her entire career to be a 7-time champion. And you have Charlotte that's been in the roster for what?
2 years? 2 years? And there's no denying her athleticism.
And she's already, what, a 5-time women's champion? Yep. So you kind of get where I'm going?
No, yeah, I definitely get where you're going.
Me, I would like to see them have a more longer title
reigns, yeah. Like I said, I don't see her losing the title anytime soon. She'll probably keep it up until WrestleMania, which would be a pretty good amount of time for her to hold the title, given the fact that everybody else, other than Alexa Bliss, has been given the title and dropped it immediately after. The title reign they gave Natalya was pretty decent. It wasn't too short and it wasn't too long. You know, she did a great job representing the title, but with Alexa, I mean, she's been doing pretty good. She's beaten almost all the women in Raw already, so I'm looking forward to seeing her face Paige and see where that goes.
Yeah, we'll see where WWE takes her.
And Charlotte defeated Alexa Bliss. At this point, Team SmackDown was actually beating Raw. And then the next match proceeding was Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. I mean, I really don't have anything much to say about this match because, as we know, AJ Styles is probably the greatest in-ring performer of this generation. He is the greatest wrestler of all time. I mean, there's not much you can say about him, and he lasted for a really long time. The match, usually Brock Lesnar's matches tend to be very, very short. He has like 5-10 minute matches. This match was obviously longer than that, and AJ proved that he's up there. He's great, man. There's really not much to say about AJ.
Personally, I have one thing to say about AJ, and that's just GOAT.
Yeah, he is the greatest of all time.
End of story. And I mean, to take Brock Lesnar to where he took him to give him the fight and almost beating him. Not even Samoa Joe was able to do that. You know, Undertaker that was up that had a great match with them, but AJ Styles is just phenomenal.
Yeah, there's no way around
being all around the world, he's faced all kinds of opponents, and he knew what was expected to face.
Yeah. And then, like, no matter who you put AJ Styles with, he delivers. That man gives you a main event match.
And he's so talented that he makes James Ellsworth look talented.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the match he had?
The guy is a freaking GOAT. And the story. He is the best in-ring performer of our generation. You know, and here's another thing. I would really want to see AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh, that would be...
One claims to be Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, and the other one is the show, the phenomenal one. Just imagine the two greatest wrestlers, performers of our era going at it one more time.
Oh, that's a dream match. I would love to see that. I'd love to see that at a WrestleMania too. So,
but here's the thing: Shawn Michaels doesn't want to do it, and he doesn't want to get back in the ring. I really love to see that, and I think that would be the greatest wrestling match ever.
If not one of AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels' best matches ever. And point is, Brock Lesnar might have won, but AJ Styles didn't have to prove anything to anybody because he's already beaten countless of superstars. He's already up there. He's already the greatest wrestler of this generation. So he really didn't need to win because he didn't have to prove anything to anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I give credit to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar took some punishment from AJ, and AJ took him to his limit, and he was still able to come out on top. I mean, that's why he is the beast.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that's why he's the beast. He's just, you know, he's beating the top superstars in this business.
And he was the one that ended the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. So
that is correct.
I mean,
so Brock Lesnar was no joke, and for AJ to take him to the limit, it's just,
and to give the type of match that he gave, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So like I said, AJ for me, the GOAT and the story.
Yep, completely agreed. And then we have one last match, which was the 5-on-5 men's traditional match. Top talent from both brands. One of the things that was kind of like the highlight of this match is we got to see Kurt Angle versus John Cena again after years. I mean, John Cena debuted in 2001, and he faced Kurt Angle.
So yeah, I remember that match. It was Kurt Angle had a, I think, hometown hero challenge.
Yeah, an open challenge or something like that. Yeah.
So and then John Cena came out and really just impressed the heck out of him, you know. And 15 years later,
we got to see that again. We got to see
them again, and actually, John Cena was like, "All right, let's see what you got now." You know, after all this time.
Kurt Angle proved to him that he still got it, even after these many years. He's still up there with all of them. One of the things that also happened was we saw Triple H turn on Kurt Angle, and then he had Shane eliminate him, and then Triple H then pedigreed Shane, pinned him to give Raw the supremacy, to give him the win, and then Triple H had a stare down with Braun Strowman. So in which direction are they heading? Are they going to go Triple H versus Kurt Angle, or are they going to go Triple H versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania? Because we're for sure going to see Triple H perform at the grandest stage of them all in New Orleans.
The way the story was set up, it makes more sense if he goes against Kurt Angle. Just because, one, he pedigreed Jason Jordan, his son.
Storyline wise,
correct. And because he screwed him over as far as, you know, pinning him and pedigreeing him, you know, to get him eliminated. So it does make sense if he faces Angle at WrestleMania.
That's something I'm looking forward to seeing if it does end up happening. Yeah. I mean, we will be at WrestleMania next year in New Orleans, so I'm really looking forward to how that's going to look. Anyways, thank you for joining us on this podcast. We will see you next time.